County. We'll also be speaking to Francis Mtalaki, who is in Mombasa, just to get a sense of how the people are spending their holidays. Well, you can send us in your feedback using our Twitter handle at KT News. You can tweet me at Agina Abi, just telling us what you're up to on Christmas Day. Well, let's start you off with one of the key issues that the president did address as he addressed the country. President Uhuru Kenyatta has called for national unity, saying he is willing to work with his rivals in promoting development. In his Christmas message address, Uhuru urged Kenyans to embrace diversity and forgive one another without looking back.
Unto us a child is born. Isaiah's words proclaim the extent of God's continuing care for his people. This year, as in years past, we make God's promise our own, uniting with family and friends to renew the bonds that bind. Kenya is a diverse democracy. Men and women of different faiths, different tongues, and different beliefs all call it their home. Our reading this Christmas reminds us that that difference is part of God's plan for us. We read that wise men came from different nations to celebrate the birth of the child. And we are taught that strangers sheltered the child and his mother. We ought to take that lesson to heart. In this year of political competition, we hold fast to the truth that difference need not mean division. We hold to the truth that we can do far more together than we can apart. And we remember that any Kenyan's child is to be honored as our own. Unity is at the heart of Christmas, as it is at the heart of being Kenyan. This is also a time of renewal. God promised his people that they would be made anew, no matter what had happened in the past, no matter what had gone wrong in their relations with him. He would make us and our communities whole again. We claim that promise for ourselves. If we look deep into our hearts, we know that we have not always lived up to our own expectations or God's. And yet we know that he is merciful and that our brothers and sisters are too. This is not a time to look back. This is not a time to nurse grudges of the past. This is the time to forgive and to look forward to the renewal that God promises in the birth of this child. But renewal will not happen unless we resolve to build up our brothers and sisters. So instead of recrimination, let us join hands in common work. Let us feed the hungry. Let us house the homeless. Let us give work to those who have none. And let us bring medicine to those who are ill. These are the goals my administration has set itself. And they are the goals to which every Kenyan can contribute this Christmas and in the year to come. There is work for willing hands, and let us dedicate and rededicate ourselves to doing it and to renewing this nation. Friends, let us all be responsible this festive season. And more so, those of us who are driving. Let me close by wishing you and all you love a very Merry Christmas. And I ask you again, especially our drivers, to take care of yourselves and your fellow countrymen and women in all your journeys this festive season. Merry Christmas to all Kenyans.
Well, indeed, Merry Christmas, Mr. President. Well, we want to take you to Nakuru County, where we have Victor Ogale, who is just taking a spot check on how people are celebrating Christmas. And I'll hand it over to Ogale.
Well, a busy day here in Nakuru County. To most of the sub-counties that we have managed to go to, from Njoro sub-county to Kuresoi, Naivasha, Gilgil, Bahati, and here in Nakuru Town West. Seems the residents of Nakuru County have decided to make merry and celebrate this Christmas like no other. Remember, we have had close to 3 months of high political temperatures with high adrenaline and political theatrics and dynamism. So this time round, members of Nakuru County have decided to do things a little bit different after a tough political season. Just come here, sit with their family members, kids and their loved ones, and have a bite or a drink and celebrate. And though most of the places that we have gone to, the situation seems to be the same, just as here at Grill Park, which is at the center of Nakuru town, where we have a couple of activities involving children and also adults. And with me is a gentleman by the name of Anthony, who will just give us more info of what is happening here. Anthony, Merry Christmas and a very good afternoon. Just tell us what is happening here at Grill Park in Nakuru.
Mostly it's a family fun day today. As you can see behind us, we have different activities here, and also we have some DJs here who are trying to entertain people here. Mostly we are trying to bring the Christmas mood that is always at home to somewhere outside their home, so that they can have much fun here. Yes.
Well, tomorrow is also a holiday, Boxing Day. Maybe should the residents of Nakuru County also expect the same, or even something bigger than what has happened today?
Mostly still be having the same, because maybe there's some parents who haven't experienced the same, or the kids. So we have to have the same tomorrow.
Well, also remember, apart from what is happening here, we also have different people in Nakuru town who have decided to perhaps feed or give food to the less fortunate in the society, including street boys. And that is an event that happened earlier in the morning at around 10, despite also other people going to various worship places at Christ the King and other worship centers. So with me, the camera seems to have attracted some of the revelers here, some of the fans of KTN News. Just let's hear what they have to say and their message to Kenyans in general. You celebrate Christmas. A very good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Just tell us, perhaps, I've seen you've come here with your small boy. What is in store for Christmas?
Okay, the thing that is in store for Christmas is just having happiness, coming together with our families, etc., etc. Yeah.
Okay. Let me talk to karibia tu kidogo, labda tu tueleze ujumbe kwa Wakenya. Leo ni Christmas, tumeisubiri kwa muda, imefika.
Tumesumbukana toka August, tumekuwa shida mingi. Na tulikuwa tunaomba at least hii Christmas ifike, tumesherehekea. Kama mimi hasa nimetoka Garissa, mimi mkazi wa hapa Nakuru, lakini nyumbani kwetu ni Mumias. Nimeshukuru, nilikuwa nataka kuja kusherehekea na familia yangu iko hapa Nakuru, na najivunia kuwa hapa kwa sababu ya amani. Ni Mungu peke yake.
So, unasema umekuja kujisherehekea, umejisherehekea ama bado ndio waanza kujisherehekea na utaendelea?
Ndio sasa inafika peak sasa. Sasa ni watoto, sehemu yetu bado inakuja. Nafurahia.
Sawa, wacha nizungumze na Jenda kidogo, wacha nizungumze na madam. Tueleze, naona umekuja hapa, uko peke yako, kuna wenzako hapo. Unajihisi aje Christmas hatimaye imefika?
Nahisi vizuri, at last tumemaliza mambo mengi ya campaign. Sasa hizi tunasikia vizuri, tunajienjoy hapa, watoto wako pale wanafurahia. Hayo pia nasikia vizuri. Yes. Thank you.
Wacha bosa karibia hapa. Tueleze, umemleta mdogo kidogo ajienjoy, Christmas ikoje?
Nasema kwamba hii Christmas ni mzuri na kitu ya maana kwamba tumende na amani. Amani kitu ya maana, tusahau ile siasa zilikuwa mwaka ijayo, kila tuzingatie kitu ya amani. Na saa hii naomba Wakenya wenzangu tukumbuke ile wanaitwa less fortunate family. Tutembelee wale, kama ni hospitali tutembelee wale. Na kama kwa mfano kama ile tunakumbuka story ya accidents imesidi sana Kenya, madereva wenzangu tutembee polepole. Hata sina mengi, natakia kila laheri. Asanteni sana.
Sasa acha tuzungumze na mwingine. Sawa. Ujumbe wako kwa Wakenya wakati wa Christmas?
Mimi nawashauri wakuwe na upendo, washerekee na wafurahie pamoja. Ndio hiyo.
Ni hayo tu. Sawa, labda wa mwisho boss. Njoo ufunge, naona wewe ni mzito. Tuelezee Christmas imefika, unajisikia aje?
Najisikia vyema. Kama unavyoona mwaka huu ni tofauti na miaka zingine kwa sababu tulikuwa na mambo ya politics, lakini hatukutarajia kama ingekuwa hivi. But ukiangalia kama hapa grill ingekuwa imejaa zaidi. But watu wengi walikuwa wanahofia sana mambo ya siasa, lakini ujuilisha ndio unaona at least watu wameweza kuleta familia zao waweze kujumuika pamoja. Ile kitu naweza himiza Wakenya ni tukae kwa amani, tuishi pamoja, watu watoe ukabila mbali pamoja.
Well, those are just the sentiments of just a fraction, rather, some of the people who have come here and they're residents of Nakuru County. And just geographically stationed where Nakuru is, it is more of a transit town because here it sort of connects people going to the western part of the country, to the Rift Valley, both the north and the central rift. And for the past 2-3 days, we have been experiencing heavy traffic flow, and which at some point has been taking a toll, or rather draining some of the drivers, or rather motorists driving either towards Nairobi or towards the western parts of the country, or even going towards Eldoret, Kisumu, Busia, and other parts of the country. So, however, today the traffic flow is smooth. Things are flowing, and there's just a few people here in town. So from me, just back to you in studio, and Merry Christmas from we here, the Nakuru Standard Group Bureau, me together with my colleague Peter Kimani, Sarah Otieno, together with Harry Nwadhare. Back to you.
Well, indeed, Merry Christmas to you, Gali, and the team in Nakuru for the excellent job you continue to do. Well, that just gives you a picture of how other Kenyans are spending their Christmas in Nakuru. Lots of people visiting the fun joints just to take their children to play, as well as have some catching up with cousins and relatives. Well, let's take you to the coast now, and beach hotels in the coastal city of Mombasa and its environs are enjoying brisk business following a rise in domestic holiday makers during this Christmas holiday. Hoteliers have expressed optimism that the fragile tourism sector is once again looking up after a prolonged challenging electioneering period that has led to a decline in international arrivals. Mombasa is a preferred holiday location for Kenyans and foreign vacationers alike, eager to savor its beautiful sandy beaches and tropical ambience. At Travelers Beach Hotel, during a Christmas dinner organized by the hotel to its clients, sales and marketing manager Wafula Oaswa said business had picked up during the December holidays as dozens of tourists continue to flood the resort town.
Well, this season happily we are at the same level. Not so much of a change. We were hoping that probably it will be a low, but after the inauguration of the president, things went up, and we did well. We are maintaining most of the hotels that I've shared information with, they are doing well, and we are glad that it's happening the way it's happening. We are happy with the SGR project. We are happy going forward that the introduction of SGR has helped. Quite a number of clients that we are having locally here, the locals have come through SGR, and we are hopeful that the SGR is going to continue bring in business for us as hoteliers, as Mombasa region. It has been helpful. I can allude to probably 20% of our daily arrivals coming from SGR.
The British or English people and all the other countries in Europe should be saying to themselves, let us send all our people to Kenya. Why not? It's the most beautiful place on earth. You know that, and I know it. And as far as I'm concerned, we're already booked for 2018.
Well, staying with the Christmas-related news, travelers continue to have a hectic time finding means of transport up-country as most bus companies reported full bookings. The standard gauge railway too had no extra tickets to Mombasa. Brian Obuya reports on the chaos that has marked the quest to get away from the city.
A security screening is underway at the Madaraka Express terminus in Nairobi, as hundreds of Kenyans are on their way to the coast for merrymaking with family and friends. Another bunch of hundreds has missed out. The Madaraka Express is fully booked until the 3rd of January, and those who missed out are not hiding at their frustration.
Nimelauka asubuhi nikuja hapa, nitafuta kama nitapata ticket ya 28. They told me it's full booked. Yeah. So I tried 29 is fully booked. They told me up to 3rd is fully booked. So I'm so disappointed.
At first nilikuwa nadhani nitapata, but venye nilikuwa naona watu tu watacancel. Juu kuna watu cancel the last minute.
Now, that was the situation with those who sought to travel via railway. For road travel, it's a more complicated story. Long queues continue to characterize the traveling diaries. More and more offices remaining closed for anyone who wants to make any fresh bookings. Most of them fully booked until way after December 25th. And the rush and hush for upcountry continued. The stoning of this bus, now parked outside Kamukunji police station, was the culmination of a 7-hour standoff between some over 30 passengers and the Transline Classic management. The over 30 passengers were stranded after the bus abandoned them in Ngara, Nairobi. The passengers say the Transline Classic bus carried them from its Afya Center offices before mysteriously stopping in Ngara. According to the passengers, the standoff that lasted 7 hours began when the management asked them not to make bookings, promising to give them their tickets from inside the bus. At one point, the agitated passengers, it is said, threatened to set the vehicle ablaze after hours of failed negotiation.
People came to book bus tickets 2 weeks ago. Wakawambia kama unaenda Kisii, hakuna haja ya kubook tickets. Utakuja on that material day, you get into the bus and hand cash to the driver. We were here by 5 a.m. and we got into the bus at 5:30, let's say 5:30. Wakazunguka around Afya Center, wakarudi, wakaambia wale ambao wako excess, washuke kisha tuende.
Wakasema wanafika garage kwanza, after a few maintenance, ndio tuende.
Sasa driver akafika masaa kaanza kusema tena aendi stage, aendi Kisii, sijui naenda Sirare. So we were like, hakuna venye tunaweza fanya, tukamwambia basi turudishe stage tuchukue gari zingine. Sasa akasema hana ufunguo.
The bus driver sped off minutes after we arrived at the scene of the confrontation, leaving all passengers behind without their luggage. At that point, it was towed under unclear circumstances. 2 passengers are currently being held at the Kamukunji police station in connection with the damage. We have since contacted the bus company, which now claims that the passengers forced their way into the bus. However, it remains unclear how and why the driver took the passengers to an undesignated location before turning off the bus engines. Short-distance vehicles like those which operate between the CBD and Githurai are now traveling as far as Mombasa, Kisumu, and Nairobi. Take this Kenya Mpya bus, for example. Today, it will not go to Thika as is the norm. It is on its way to Embu. This Githurai bus traveling kilometers away to Mombasa. The Association of Matatu Operators has issued them with temporary licenses to operate outside their designated routes for a short while.
People who are traveling with a temporary TLB, it does not mean that you have been given a temporary TLB, you go and mess on the road. Or you take advantage, you go for many squads, for many trips, so that you make your profit. Temporary TLB, you need to work with temporary TLB only in a day.
And the drink driving menace that has claimed thousands of lives, mostly during festive seasons, rages on. The National Transport and Safety Authority officials have continued with their crackdown in several parts of the country. More than 100 people have been killed in road accidents in the last 3 weeks alone.
let us all be responsible this festive season. And more so, those of us who are driving. Let me close by wishing you and all you love a very Merry Christmas.
Brian Obuya.
Well, police in Runyenjes are investigating a case of illicit brew that has left several people nursing various conditions. Some residents complained of blood in their urine after they consumed the brew. Police also recovered counterfeit currency at the home of the suspected manufacturer. Judge Maringa has more details.
This is not just any other liquid. It is an illicit brew, one that was discovered at the home of a resident of Ndagaya, Embu County, after residents tipped off the police following reports of deaths related to the brew. No one here could say how many people had died, but the other effects of the brew were clear enough. Some of the residents now complain of blood in their urine after taking the brew.
Ambaye kimebanana na damu, magonjwa ikiisha, halafu nigonjwa tena ni damu.
The manufacturer of this illicit brew packs it in legal brew bottles, something that angered the owners of the legal brands.
Leo asubuhi tulipata information kwa mtu ana counterfeit pombe yetu inaitwa Mbatiani. Yeye anatengeneza na anaweka kwa chupa ya Mbatiani. Ndio sasa tuliandamana na polisi mpaka tukaenda kwake nyumbani na tukaenda tukapata hiyo pombe iko ile anaweka kwa chupa yetu.
Police have arrested 2 women suspected to be distributors while recovering 380,000 Kenya shillings in fake currency in its final stages.
This premises is of a known man by the name Godi, and is a known illegal distributor of some brew, including one of them is Shuja and others. And he's using the same Rigo business to distribute Rigo brew.
Police have a warning to Kenyans to be wary of the liquor they consume, especially during the festive season. George Maringa, KTN News.
The senior management of diversified listed financial services company, Britam, yesterday donated foodstuff worth 200,000 shillings in cash to Angel Center Children's Home in Dagoretti in an effort to improve their welfare. Britam Foundation staff also spent the day mingling with the children, doing daily chores like cooking, washing and cleaning, among other things. According to Yvonne Tharao, Britam Group Marketing Manager, staff members would continue in similar service to the community on a quarterly basis so as to make it sustainable. The home specializes in taking care of babies and children, some on the basis of willing mother adoption system. The center's founder, Wamadhai Mwangi, thanked Britam for the gesture.
Today we have the team from Britam. They had called us a few weeks ago and told us that they would like to come and kind of give back to the community and share with the children and just share the Christmas cheer with the children, and here they are today. We sent out a form to the organization and told them, okay, tell us which homes do you think we should visit. And Angel Center actually had the highest number of nominated. And then when you look at the reasons why it was nominated is because, first of all, the founder started when she was very young. They don't have donors, they all have well-wishers. And then if you look, they take the what do you call this? They take the very little kids, infants to like 3-4 years. So, and that is, as a mother, I know that is when we really need a lot of help. You need a lot of supplies. So that is actually why we picked the home.
Well, on that note, we want to take a quick commercial break. We still have much more coming up after the break.